Ladies and gentlemen, this is Johnny K, and we have a special guest tonight on the Midnight Podcast. He's agreed to come on. He's a lovely chap. And without any further ado, here is Luke Launer. Did I pronounce that right, Luke? Launer?
Right, spot on the nail.
Beautiful, there you go. Because, sometimes, bro, we're on Facebook, you read all these names, and, on Facebook, a lot of times, we're all just Facebook acquaintances, like it's a Facebook friend thing. And a lot of people don't meet in person, and I've had a few people where I've pronounced their name wrong in person because you read it on Facebook, but then in person when you meet them, it's like, oh shit, I got it wrong. I was hoping I got that right. So thank goodness I got that right.
Nailed it. A lot of people tend to say that, there's two ways you can say it. There's Launer or Launer. A lot of people say it's Launer, but I think it's pronounced Launer. So
yeah. Which one do you prefer, Launer or Launer?
I don't know. I prefer Launer.
Launer, yeah. So how you been, man? What's news?
Good. Oh, mate, busy. I've been flat out this year.
I know, man. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that Snap Factory around. We're going to get into that in just a bit. But tell us, man, how did your career start? What made you want to do filmmaking?
Well, I'll try and keep it as short as possible. I suppose I could talk
oh, mate, we got 20 minutes, man. The floor is yours, brother.
I better pull my finger out. Look, with filmmaking, mate, it was kind of, I don't know, it was the furthest thing from my mind, actually, back in the day when I did school and we had filmmaking classes at school, and I got right into that. I got I think we did little short films with our mates, and we'd hire cameras, and I loved the whole process of the development of it.
It's amazing, isn't it?
That's kind of what sparked it off. I was on fire. As soon as we had the filmmaking class, I was just on fire. I had that much energy about it.
Yeah.
I just absolutely fell in love with it, and I don't know, and then I didn't think it was really going to go anywhere. I thought my actual career was going to be into fixing computers. That's really.
I'll tell you something, Luke. A lot of us, man, and I'm into filmmaking as well. A lot of us go through that stage where we think, can we, can't we? It doesn't help when we have critics, and a lot of times they're just jealous and bitter, and they say a lot of awful things. But a lot of time, even the kindest people will look at us and, and think, yeah, look, that's just a fantasy. That's just a dream. And that always pissed me off. Did you ever cop that as well?
Yeah, always. Yeah, just, you're not sure if you're good enough and all that type of stuff. And anyway, like I said, I just wanted to fix computers and be computer maintenance. That's what I really loved. I was a tech geek. I loved technology and computers and fixing them. And then I thought to myself, I couldn't really see myself working 9 to 5 in a computer store, because a lot of people can fix their computers these days because they're coded and everything now. So it's a lot easier than what it was back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
But more of an adventurous type. I thought, I'd love to get out there, and I used to love watching movies as a kid growing up and all that type of stuff. And anyway,
which was your favorite movie of all time? Well, that might be a tough question, that one.
Actually, not really. There's a couple of movies that I really like. Probably my favorite movie of all time would have to be Braveheart with Mel Gibson.
Ah, yes, very nice.
There's nothing but pure power in that film. It's the way it's shot. It's everything about it. It's a very unique film.
Yeah.
And I don't think he could get I don't think he can get close to that.
That was a good pick, man. That was a good pick. My favorite. Oh gosh, it's hard to pick a favorite. And I'm gonna be lame when I mention my favorite, because it will be a pretty generic answer. But let's say one of my favorites, because I'm sure we both have quite a number. Yeah. You're gonna laugh, man. The Scream series, the movie Scream.
That's good. I've actually haven't seen it, man. I've heard of it. But I've actually never.
You haven't seen Scream? Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, man, I'm sure others haven't either, but it was good. It wasn't the greatest set of films, but, it was okay. It had a nice, entertainment value to it. It was meant to be horror, but it was sort of like comedy at the same time.
Yeah. I think I've actually seen little snippets of it on YouTube or something.
Yeah. But it grew in popularity, so that's probably my favorite movie. Show-wise, you're going to laugh again, bro. Seventh Heaven.
Oh, geez, old school. Actually, I didn't mind watching some of that. I actually watched a little bit of that myself back in the...
Yeah, Seventh Heaven was really good. I liked it. I even liked... My favorite character, you're not going to believe this, was Reverend Camden. obviously news broke out what happened to him. So I don't know if you heard about it, but he's going in the can for really big allegations, which happened to be true. He was what was he? How should I say this? Let's just say he done stuff to children he shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he reckons it was pretty mild, but mate, there's no mild when it comes to shit like that. So that sort of ruined it for me for Seventh Heaven. But I fell in love with the character Reverend Camden. You don't fall in love necessarily with the actors. So as an actor, I didn't see him as anything spectacular. I mean, yeah, he was a great actor, but I never looked at him from an actor standpoint. I looked at him from a character standpoint. That's actually what made me do youth work, believe it or not, because he would help so many people, in the show, the character. And then that made me do youth work and help other kids.
Amazing, isn't it? How a character in a film or a series can really inspire someone to become something.
I know, man. I know, absolutely.
Like Hercules and Xena inspired me.
Wow, there you go.
1996. Yeah.
And they were the best, man. Hercules, oh mate, the best. Xena, just as good.
Yeah, all those television shows and movies, and that's what really got me firing up about films. I think was the I don't know, it's like another world, like you wanted to live that other world.
Exactly, man. I'll tell you, Hercules was great growing up. One of my other favorites, Get Smart. Oh, legendary.
Oh yeah, Maxwell
Smart. Legendary, mate. Get Smart was the best.
It was. Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing, man. Man, we could talk for fucking hours, mate. We only got 20 minutes. Tell us about Snap Factory, bro. Tell us, what made you choose the concept Snap Factory? How'd you come up with the name?
That's funny you asked that. Oh, that's a good question. Not many people have actually told me where the name Snap Factory comes from, but Snap Factory actually come from working in a shitty day job that I didn't like.
Oh wow!
Time.
Okay.
Working. I can't throw names. Because
of course not.
All those reasons. But look, I will say that it was a poultry type of chicken factory. Whatever you want to call it, boning chickens and all that type of stuff. That doesn't sound right, did it?
Hey, in 2015, nothing sounds right. We've taken political correctness to a new level, but we'll get into that another time.
The work in that joint, like it was just a cold, shitty type of environment.
I feel you, bro.
It was just I had to do it for money wise, and while pursuing film and all that type of stuff as you do, and the job started off all right, and then new management kind of come in and stuffed the whole joint up.
Yeah, don't you hate when that happens, man? Everything's going good, and then treating everyone like shit. You get someone that comes along, and takes over the place, and next thing you know, everything turns to shit. Yeah,
that's right. Yep. So anyway, I just felt like it was like a snap factory,
Yeah, exactly. Boom, you nailed it.
I said, this is a fucking snap factory. I'm allowed to swear on this.
Absolutely, mate. You can say anything you want. Curse all you like, my friend.
Anyway, I thought, shit, that's actually not a bad name for a film. I might use that. And so that's where the name come from.
That's amazing, bro. That's
amazing.
Working
in a joint that I absolutely hated.
That's amazing, mate. That's wow. And Snap Factory, man, like we've seen a little snippet. What can you tell us about it, man? Like what can you tell the audience? I know you can't say too much yet, but what can you tell us? What can we find out about it thus far?
Well, basically, it's basically a combination of things that have inspired me over the years, like different films. Like there's probably about, I don't know, 6 or more different films all combined, like different elements taken from multiple films put into one film, but it's got my own spin and take on it.
Oh wow!
And it's the thing I love about it is it's full on, like it's intense. It's got absolutely everything. I've thrown absolutely everything into it. Yeah. And the thing I love about it also is it's kind of like mini stories all trapped within the one big film. Like you learn a little bit about, you might learn a little bit about this character, and then you jump across to this character, you learn a bit here, and then you learn a bit there, and you learn a bit there, and then you jump back to the original plot.
Oh,
wow. You learn a little bit more about the character as it progresses and stuff like that.
Oh, very nice.
And not only that, I love how simple the film is.
The actual story. Can you tell us a little bit about that, man?
Yeah, sure. Well, basically, like I said, the film was taken, the idea, I shot a short film back in 2011, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it was basically just a bunch of ideas that I had. I put them all together and then kind of come up with this film called Snap Factory. It was like an 8-minute short. And the film was very well received. So I decided to kind of expand on the film, keep going with the storyline, and all that type of stuff, and just kind of talk a little bit more about the characters that were involved. Basically, what Snap Factory is about, it's about a bit of an underground rogue mental institution. It's a bit of an underground organization, and they act as a mental institution on the outside. But deep down, what they're doing is they're testing the limitations of people. They're kind of putting them through like a series of tests. These people that they pick off the streets, and they basically they torture them. They do all these tests underneath the surface to try and create some form of soldier of some sort. You know what I mean?
Wow, that sounds incredible, man. That sounds really good. And the
people that are running the organization, below the surface, are ex-military. They're military born and raised, and they're kind of like they were disemboweled, and they kind of all come together after years and years of being in the service, and kind of created their own organization, and they're kind of that's what they do. They kidnap people off the streets and put them through a series of tests.
That's
and
awesome.
If any of them escape or whatever from the surface, then they can just put it down as that they're mentally ill patients, and they can get away with a lot of shit.
That's wicked. I tell you, man, that is actually pretty amazing, man. You came up with all that. How long did it take you to write the script, or was there a couple of people that looked over the script or helped you with it, or is this completely your baby? Did you write the entire thing?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Holy
I basically had a lot. I was inspired, and I come up with a lot of ideas, and I just kind of created a monster.
That's wicked, mate. That is wicked.
It's just a freak of nature, really. I just kind of created something and hope for the best. So,
fucking oath, man. Hey, it sounds amazing. Look, I've seen a little bit of what you've showed me, in the trailer, and I'll tell you, man, it's looking really good. And it's not even done yet. Like it's going to be in post production for a while. You're really trying to make it a masterpiece, and that takes time, mate. You know what I hate? I hate it when people always push us to just deliver something. I mean, you want to take your time with it. You want to be able to, present it as a masterpiece, not as something that you just rush to get done.
Well, that's right. Look, you get, at the end of the day, you get one shot at it, don't you?
Exactly.
So why rush it? Why jeopardize the quality of your presentation? What, to please people when you're going to give you an audience a 5-10 minute fix? Why not give them something that's going to be memorable for the rest of their life?
Yeah, and the thing is, man, a lot of people just don't get it, bro. I mean, that's just how it is.
And that's the sad thing, because we're living in a very demanding world, where it's all about demand and pumping stuff out, and all this stuff.
And it's all about the mullah. A lot of people just want it done already so I can get paid. It's not about that. It's about loving what you do. It's about making great films that people can remember.
Exactly. That's all it's ever been about. And I wish people could just seem to understand that.
Exactly,
man.
Exactly.
A bit hard in this modern day.
Tell me about it, man. On set. Tell me about on set, bro. What was it like on set working with the cast and crew and just all the actors?
Oh, it was fun. It was actually fun to actually bring back some of the oldies from the original short. Like, I think he's a mate of yours too, Petros.
Yeah, I went to school with him. Lovely chap.
Gadara, or
Petros Gadara. He goes by a different surname, but Gadara is his acting name. He's a great chap, man. I tell you, he's a really down to earth, fabulous guy, and
he's that dedicated to that bloke. Will just show up, rain, hail, or shine.
Mate, I tell you, back at high school, and he was young, mate. We would have been about 17 or 18, just turned 18. He went to Texas, man. To pursue tennis.
Yeah, he was mentioning that.
And he decided that down the track he thought acting would be a better fit. Mate, he's a great actor. I've seen him act, and I've seen him in your film in snippets. He's a marvelous actor, and I can't wait to see him in it once it's out, mate.
I love about what he did on set, on how he portrayed Michael's character in the Snap Factory. He's got this sweet. He's got this, and I'm not gay or anything, but he's got this sweet, innocent type of feel about his character and you really do feel for his character. I think Mum did bring that up at one stage too, so that's unique.
He's a very passionate actor, and he's just a very great guy, very affectionate guy, and mate, he'll play any role you give him, and he'll whack it out of the park. Yeah.
That's right. Yep. And Brian Pittaway, Brian Pittaway was played Dr. Lambert in the film, the
Nice.
main boss, the main henchman boss.
Very nice.
And he's a new upcoming actor as well.
Yeah.
Look, me, I'm the type of guy that loves giving people a shot.
That's
you know what I
it,
mean?
mate. That's
and
it.
I think everyone's got what it takes.
Yeah.
I think people just need to be given the chance to prove themselves.
Exactly.
Because that's one thing that no one ever gave me the chance to prove myself. I had
Yeah.
to actually try and prove it somehow.
Exactly.
I know exactly what it feels like, for someone not to be, you've got the skill, you've got the talent, you know what you've got to give, but no one gives you that shot.
And I've been in that same boat, man. It's more like a ship because there's so many of us. We need a ship for that. But man, one thing I've learned, bro, and you know me very well. And one thing that I've always been is very, very genuine, and I've never been a kiss ass. You know what I mean? And and you can vouch now in front of the audience. Luke, is Johnny K a kiss ass? So they can get there you go. There you go. Because because there is a bit of a misunderstanding with everyone. Just in general, when you try to add people and and they say hello, you get a lot of them. And I'll ask you about this. You get a lot of them that try to suck up to you, and but then you get the genuine ones. And I'll tell you what, man. Like our lists, that I'd say they're about 70% genuine, but then you do get a few. Have you ever had any situations, any stories you can tell me about people trying to suck up?
I don't know. I suppose I get it all the time. I get you get people like that all the time and stuff like that. Yeah. And, you got to just try and remain grounded throughout the whole deal, don't you?
That's it, man.
You just, it's a bit,
that's all you can do, man.
That's right, yeah.
It frustrates you when there's people that bust their ass off.
You feel like blowing your stack and saying a few things, but, sometimes you got to,
That's right, man. You get people that bust their ass off, and then you get people that just completely bust their ass, and then you get others that just want things, to go their way.
That's one
they
thing
suck
that
up.
Really annoys me, man. I've been thinking about that the other day. Actually, I've seen people that try and jump on other people's bandwagons, and all this type of stuff. And one thing I can say for sure, and I've experienced it, is nothing's for free in this world. You got to work hard.
Exactly.
You got to do it for yourself.
Absolutely.
You can't rely on people in this day and age to get things done. You can't do that. It doesn't work. It doesn't exist. As much as we all want that, it does. It's a fantasy. It doesn't exist.
There's a really good saying, bro. Yep. There's a really good saying, man. Nothing for nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing for nothing. If you want something, you got to bust your ass, and you got to be humble and stay humble and work hard. Right.
Well, every single thing that I've ever done in my career, I've earned. I've actually done the hard yards. I've had, like I said, I've worked with people.
Yeah.
But I don't rely on it. You know what I mean? You've got to do it all on your own.
Exactly.
So, and until people understand that, until actors can have the same mentality as a filmmaker, as an actual person that makes movies, until they can get it through their head, then stop relying on directors or filmmakers to get them famous, and they get out there and they start making their own material.
That's right. Yep.
The better we'll all be.
Yep. That's right. I've been on Underbelly. I've been on Knowing. I'm going to end up putting some stuff up because people want to see a show reel. I haven't. I don't believe in... show reels are nice, but, when you've made it, people will know. There's no need to post show reels that people have never seen, in terms of shows and films. Unless they see someone's show reel, they're not going to know. You got to get there the right way. You got to, because I think...
They are.
That's right. And making your own stuff is really, really good. And that's what I've been doing. And... I've just been laying low with it all, man. I'm going to go to America next year, and I'm going to talk to an agent up there who might possibly get me in a couple of roles. Nothing too big, because I don't want big, man. I'm happy just to get something very small. One thing that people just don't get, what they don't get, Luke, and I'm going to get your thoughts on it as well. They always think that, I'm going for this lead role. I'm going for that one. And it's all about these big roles. You don't need a big role, and you don't even need to wait in line and go for a massive role to get noticed, to work your craft. I personally, and I'll go on record and say this, and I don't think I've said this to you before, I would never, ever audition for a lead role. I'm not even joking. That's on the record right now. You've just heard it.
Yeah.
I would never audition for a lead role. If I was offered a lead role, if people came knocking on my door, hey, we want to give you a lead role, well, it would be a bit stupid of me to decline. But for me to go and wait in line with 50 other people and wait to audition for a lead role, no, I wouldn't do it. And not saying there's anything wrong with that. Everyone obviously needs lead people in their production, but I wouldn't personally do it because I believe that it's not the main role, the duration of how long you're going to be in a role. It's, the impact that you give, in a show or in a film. I've known people that have said, 3 lines in a very popular show, and they are talked about all the time. They were given a role which specifically focuses on a story. They had a character. They just said 3 lines, but what they did was head and shoulders better and easier to get than these suckers that wait in line. And they don't even end up getting the role, Luke. They end up getting sent home. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
So I always say that you don't need to go for the big one, okay? The big one is anything, whether it's a bit part, whether it's a cameo appearance.
Yeah.
Even if you're just doing 1 episode on a show, you shouldn't, think to yourself, oh, I want to be on posters. I want to be the main character in this, next, Prison Break series. I want to, what are your thoughts on that? What do you think?
Well, what people need to start understanding, and they've got to use their minds, they've got to use their mentalities, and think that it's, like I said, all the films in the world are not going to save you. It's all about making the biggest wave. It's all about impact. It's all about, what you can do with that character that's going to make it unique. And every role's important in a film, big or small.
Yep.
And it's just people need to start training their minds to stop thinking practical and stop thinking like, materialistic, and start looking at it in a different light. It's not about, like you said, it is not about lead roles and big roles and look at me and I've been in the movie for most of the time. Look at this, an hour and a half and stuff. It's what you do with it. It's all about impact.
I'll give you a very good example, and you tell me if you agree. When A Stranger Calls, the remake, because I believe they made one back in the day, many years ago, before I was born. But they made a remake. It's the one that everyone knows today. The stalker that was in that entire film. The whole film is surrounded by that stalker stalking the girl in the house, stalking the babysitter. The entire movie, Luke, is about that guy. And the only time he ever made an appearance was at the end for only a couple of measly minutes. And then just so he can get the well-deserved credit, as he's going by after he's arrested in the car, you get a really close glimpse of his face. And that was it. He didn't even say a freaking... I think he said, "Have you checked the children?" He's famous for that, Luke.
Yeah, that's right. It's all, like I said, it's all about impact.
Exactly. Spot on.
And that's what I stand for. That's what Shilling Entertainment stands for, my company. It's all about impact.
Yep.
It's all it's ever been about.
Yep. That's right.
No.
So, Snap Factory, when can we possibly see it out, man? Would it be mid next year, maybe a little bit later on?
Look, I'm very realistic. I think very realistic, and I don't like to say things that I don't usually mean. So I'm hoping that it will be an end of year release next year.
Yep, that's right.
The trailer should be coming out very, very soon. The official trailer.
Beautiful. Can't wait for that.
I can't wait.
I heard it's really good.
Looks like a Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to sharing that with everyone. So the trailer will come out first, and then the movie will come out after that, and there'll be a few little knickknacks in between that will come out as well.
Yeah, just one more question. I'll leave you to it because I know you've taken the time to come on. You're a real champ, man. You really are. You're a legend. We both have a lot of respect for one another. Sometimes I try, because you know me, Luke. You know how good I am. You know how nice I am. But, you get a lot of others that read my statuses. They're like, oh, Johnny K saying this, Johnny K saying that. Look, I'm a passionate person, and for everyone listening, I'm a very passionate person, as you are too, Luke. And I just fly off the handle, man. Look, next year, you know what my New Year's resolution is, bro? My New Year's resolution is to try to be politically correct most of the time.
It's going to be hard to do.
It's going to be very hard. I'll never be diplomatic because I'm real and I say shit how it is.
Well, that's one thing that I admire about you, man, is you're one of the only people that I know that is real.
Yeah.
you're completely honest about things, and I miss that.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of other people out there miss it too. You know, they miss what it feels like to be normal.
That's
again.
right. Exactly,
And
man.
I love that about you, man. And I don't want you to ever change that, because you shouldn't have to, because it's who you are. It's your character.
Exactly, man. And all my
as much as I want to blow my stack and shit. Sometimes,
man, all my mates tell me, they go, Johnny, you've actually got, a lot of fucking mutuals that are directors, producers, and these people aren't just some indie, riffraffs. Now indie people are going to message me, what the fuck? But I'm not. Yeah. Right. But you get a lot of indies though that are just, they don't know what they're doing. But you get, a few that do.
Well, of course.
Yeah, you get a few that do.
Are just, I don't know. They're very weak people. They don't know how to think. They're not.
But then you get the actual legit people that are trying to put something together, like yourself, a few others, and they say to me, Johnny, you've got all these people on your list. Be politically correct, they say to me. They try to bang it in my head. And I said to them, mate, I can't be politically correct, but from now on I'm going to try. But diplomatic, I'll never be diplomatic, because I'm not fake, I'm real, I call shit how I see it.
Yeah.
But the sad thing is, Luke, in today's age, mate, I think to some extent, bro, we have to try and be politically correct. It's a nightmare. It really is. People get offended. We can't make jokes anymore. We cannot make jokes. People get offended.
Unfortunately, and it sucks.
Yeah.
We're very robotic. The world feels very robotic, doesn't it?
Yeah, unbelievable.
I think it's important, though. I really do think it's important to find the balance in life.
Yeah, I agree, man. You can't take things too seriously.
You've got to find that balance.
Yeah. I agree,
and I think if you can find that balance, you're set. I think you're laughing.
That's it. So this Snap Factory, are we going to possibly see it on Netflix, maybe independently distributed on DVD and Blu-ray? Could you take it to like theaters that have it open for an attraction, like over a weekend? You can go and get a ticket and watch it. What are your plans? What are you thinking? How are you thinking of doing it?
The game plan and goal for Snap Factory is basically to just finish up working on it, getting it over and done with.
Yep.
Knocking all the jobs out, getting everything finalised, ready to go.
Yep.
It'll have a major premiere release launch for it.
Beautiful.
Which will be absolutely huge. We're hoping to look at getting it shown somewhere in the cinema like we did with the original Count film. Which was my first feature.
Yeah.
So we'll try Bendigo Cinemas again. We might even try Melbourne this time
man.
as well.
Give it a bash, I tell you, man. Because I've seen, like, there was this movie Unfriended. Independence made that, but then legit higher ups picked it up. But man, they went to Village Cinemas and Hoyts. That went everywhere.
Well,
and it came out on DVD. It's in JB Hi-Fi and everywhere else,
Yeah, I was talking to Petros about it too, and we're thinking we might even try and go for something like maybe there's a cinema in what's your big shopping centres down in Melbourne, like
Chadstone, Southland,
or whatever it's called. Well, what's that one called?
Southland, Chadstone, High Point, Fountain Gate. There's so many.
Might try something like that, maybe. We'll see
bloody
how we
oath,
go.
mate. Fucking oath, mate.
But after that, basically, we'll send it to a few festivals. And basically, I'm going to start from now on, because I'm sick of distribution agencies, because they exploit you and take advantage of you, and I don't give a shit what they think.
Exactly, mate. I agree, 100%. You and I did have a conversation about distributing it, possibly JB Hi-Fi and other places. But, we both agreed that it'd be a better option just to try and self-distribute, independently. A lot of people are doing it now, man.
Yeah. Well, I just think, like, they've made this world so hard, for people to try and get ahead. And I don't know, it's just, it's so awkward. And there's so many middlemen these days. Yeah. And I just think that, I don't know, maybe we're destined to do it hard the whole way. So I might as well get used to it and just kind of self-distribute.
Yeah, that's it, man. And
if you bust your ass working on a project, I think you're entitled to most of the profit.
That's right, man. So, I'll tell you, and I haven't been in those offices. You have. You've been for those meetings, but I did hear. So I don't know, but I did hear that they charge a fuckload. They try to take a fuckload of the cake.
They do. They probably, I don't know how much they give you out of every sale, but it's not much, and they take most of it. And you're the one that fucking made the the product. You know, it's your
Yeah.
baby, it's your film,
Exactly.
and they exploit it.
Exactly.
And then they tell you what they want you to put in the film. They rip it to shreds
Yeah, I
and
know.
all this type of rubbish.
Yeah,
And
I
I think
know.
that's disgusting. Whose film is it?
And it's one thing for them to say, and look, all they do is make a few calls, and they already have the connections from every other film that's been released in the shops, and they get it in there and they make a fortune. But for them to sit there and have the nerve to say, well, you got to cut this out, you got to fix this, fuck them, bro. Fuck them.
Yeah, it's not right. It's not. That's destroying the art. And like, would you know, if you, let's pick the Mona Lisa for example, you wouldn't get people pulling that apart, would you?
Yeah, exactly. Spot.
You know, like why do they have to? Why in this modern day and age that we're living? Why do people have to exploit other people's products and work for?
Exactly.
It's fucked. I want to go back to the old school ways.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when someone's poured their heart and their soul into something, you don't want complete strangers, because that's what they are, man. Like, you meet them, it's all professional, but they're complete strangers, and they've got their job to do, but they sit there and they tear it to shreds. They tear your work to shreds, and then on top of that, they want to bill you for it.
That's right. It's just,
and we're not just talking a fee where they actually tear it to shreds, because they'll charge you a fee just to look at it, or if it's I had an author who's, I don't know, I said had because I don't know if he's still an author, but he had a book, and he actually paid an agency to read it, because they go through it. There's an agency that go through it, and they let you know where things are bad, where things are really good. But these people just tore it to shreds, and you actually have to pay them. So you pay these people to have a look at your film, and on top of it, you got to pay them to distribute it.
That's right, and they know they can get away with it because they know that they've got the connections, and they know they can get your film out there and about, and that's what they play.
And you know what, man? And if you give them any tongue in cheek, a lot of them will turn around and say, "Well, you try getting your film out there," because then they'll make calls. They'll throw you under the bus, more like they'll throw you in front of a V line.
That's right.
Man, it gets like
I just
that.
think I think if people, what they need to do is start rebelling and going against it, and start doing it on their own, even though it's harder and a lot more work.
Exactly.
But stuff them, wean them out.
That's exactly right, man. And people can do it, dude. If people can get like 20 million subscribers on a YouTube channel, they can distribute a film. They can definitely do that. So it's not impossible.
No, it's not impossible. No, you just got to work a bit harder. That's
right,
all.
man. Politics in the industry. Your thoughts on politics? Can you stomach it? Because obviously we're not the kind that politic our way in this industry. But I guess there's people that can stomach it and people that just can't. Can you stomach people that try to do the political rounds to get where they want to go?
Not really. No.
Me neither, mate.
Nah, I think it's a load of shit. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's a child's game, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, it's just ridiculous. You got to remain grounded.
Exactly, man.
There's too many people with alter egos and thinking that things are going to save them, or they can use people up to get where they are, and all this type of stuff. And I just think it's just ridiculous. People play. It's stupid.
Yeah. I always say, Luke. Stay hungry and stay humble.
That's right. Stay hungry and stay humble. Spot on.
Because there's a lot of people that just are not appreciative of the industry. They some do get really good gigs. They get we refer to them as gigs. But roles they get to be on television, and they don't appreciate it, man. They're very up themselves, and their ego. My God.
That's one thing that I cannot stand. I cannot stand hungry actors. I call them sharks. People that will take and steal anything they can get their greasy little dirty hands on. I think you got to believe in the role that you're trying to portray. You got to really be 150% genuine. If I offer you a role, you've got to weigh it up and ask yourself, what's its worth, and is it important? Can I see myself committing 250% to this role?
Exactly.
Why step up for? Why look at a man in the face, look at someone's baby, someone who's spent countless nights busting their ass working on something, to look at them in the face and just take it from them. And that's not what I want. If I'm willing to put that much love and guts and energy and effort to try and get myself plus you recognised, why shit on them that? Why go against?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a discussion about this where people have just a lot of people walk off set, they change their mind. I had another friend who's directing a vampire film. You know, and she had that happen. It happens to a lot of people, and it's bullshit because when you sign up, and look, sometimes you might not, literally sign up on the dotted line. Sometimes, it's a verbal agreement. But mate, is your character not worth anything? If you're verbally agreeing, then you've agreed to be in it. You don't just fuck off on him,
Well, exactly. Yeah. I absolutely respect any actor that has the balls to say, Luke, this film, I love this film. I believe in the idea, but I could not see myself playing the role. I respect those actors.
Yeah, that's
because
right. Because at least they'll be honest with you from the beginning.
That's right.
And they're not going to get themselves on promo material. They're not going to have a little showreel. If they get in a few scenes, then they piss off and leave you. Leave you hanging.
They're not looking at anything but the film, the film itself. They're not looking at the fame or the glory or the things that come with. They're looking. They're genuinely looking at the product, the film, the character. Yeah. And that's what I love. I admire that. Yep. There's not many people out there that are like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's only, a handful of us out there, man, and only a handful of great filmmakers like yourself. I mean, I'm telling you, I give props where props are due. People are probably going to think, he's kissing Luke's ass. If I wanted a role from anyone, I could just go through the same channels as everyone else and apply for one. But there's other reasons, why I don't want to go for a lot of roles. I hate the political thing. I'm very low key. If something very small comes up, I'll be more than happy to do it. In anyone's production. But I'm not like most brown noses.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, at least you're real about it. You know?
That's it, bro.
So that's fantastic. Yeah. That's great.
Luke, it's been a pleasure, my friend. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you and have you on the podcast. I've been meaning to get you on for a while, so it's good that we did it, man. I really do appreciate it. You are a fucking legend, man. And I cannot wait till Snap Factory is out, man. I cannot wait. It'll be absolutely marvelous, man.
I'm hoping I'm really do hoping it'll turn a few heads. That's for sure. So that's for sure.
Luke Launer spent his life savings on camera equipment and says it's the beginning of what he hopes will be a successful career.
Hey, we're feeling up. Get pumped. This is going to be the best. Excited.
The 23-year-old from Dimbulla in the States West says he was sick of seeing the same old remakes at commercial cinemas, wanting to make a movie that showcases reality at its best.
Do what you're told or I'll fucking kill him. I'll fucking kill him. No mercy! No remorse! I'll fucking kill him! You fucking hear me? You fucking hear me? What?
Shot over 2 weeks in his hometown, the now Bendigo resident says he pushed his cast and crew, of mainly friends and family, to the edge.
To the extreme, like passion that doesn't describe it enough.
You're gonna love this one. Fuck out of here. Hey! You just got fucking like
He is the most passionate person on the planet, without a doubt, in the film industry.
Give me the fuck out!
It's not his first production and it certainly won't be his last. He's already got his next project ready to go, a medieval adventure.
His mind is something I've never really come across before, if that's a good way of explaining it. He really looks at things in a completely different way and he is not afraid.
Come on.
Get that shit in here. Yeah, don't worry about it, mate. We'll be back shortly for you.
The most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing is I want to thank my absolutely amazing and dedicated cast. I could not have done this movie without you. You were my eyes and you were my ears when I couldn't see or hear. So with that being said, these guys deserve a round of applause for all their hard efforts. Thank you so much, guys.